welcome back to more Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth. Last time we left off, we did middle part 2, I think, and now middle part 3. Oh yeah, we think that Sheena is the killer. Agent Z says, little cubs never really know the real fury of the elder wolves. These quotes are definitely becoming increasingly difficult to decipher. And what does that mean? It means that you'll never really know how angry I can get. Mr. Prosecutor, the counterfeit bills made with Babbly's ink. They were all of Zhang Fa denominations. Yes, so I heard from Miss Von Karma. We don't know where the plate money has gone. I must not have figured out that it was all burned yet. Ever since those things showed up in circulation, my country's economy has taken a big hit. Zhang Fa's in financial chaos as we speak. Because we can't tell the difference between our own bills and the fakes. But it's not just the money. The citizens are also worried. I've staked the honor of the House of Lang on this, and have come to this land to capture the mastermind behind the whole mess. I investigated how the bills were made and how the ink was smuggled into Zhang Fa, and I pursued the smuggling ring all the way here. But tonight, this is where the final chapter was written. Despite my frantic efforts to chase the smuggler down, someone got to him first. And now I'm called to return home without a single answer. Agent Lang, Don't start. It's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault, Mr. Prosecutor. Ambassador Alba, I'm sorry for all the trouble tonight. Oh, no. It is I who should apologize. It was all because I was not strong enough. If only I was able to think of a better solution. Curse, you fool! Curse your empty brain! You're being too hard on yourself, Ambassador. I take full responsibility for tonight. End of story. Sheena, let's go. Time to return to our den. Yes. I don't like to admit it, but there's not much else for us to do but to go home as well. Agent Lang, a moment if you... You, Wolfman and the secretary lady. Hold it! Objection, pal! Detective Gumshoe? Have you got the results of the handwriting analysis already? Yep, and that note was definitely written by Mr. Koken, sir. Just as I thought. Good work, detective. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. How long do you intend to hold us up for? Sorry to have made you wait, but I believe that now everyone is finally here. Agent Sheena, I'd like to ask you something if you don't mind. Yes? How exactly did you fail to see the Yatagarasu when you were in the neighboring room to where Mr. Koken was killed? I'd like you to explain that to us. What? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, what are you doing asking her about something she didn't see? Agent Lang isn't into the Babel investigation at all, so I suppose I will need to explain a few things to him first. Miles Edgeworth, I can't even begin to imagine what's going on in that head of yours. The only thing going on in my head is the pursuit of the truth. Oh, sounds like you have some sort of plan. Very well, I'll supervise you until the end. She's seriously going to treat me as a subordinate for the rest of the day. You're not trying to pick a fight with my subordinate on some flimsy guess, are you? Well, I'm not trying to pick a fight, and evidence is hardly flimsy, as you will see. Ha! I should have known that you and I are destined to fight it out at the very end. It would appear that way. Well, I'll prove her innocence, so let's see what you've got, Prosecutor Edgeworth. With pleasure. Was that the first time you called me Edgeworth? For my opening argument, I'll discuss the Yatagarasu that appeared in Babel, and establish exactly who it was that Kay saw. Agent Lang, I assume you've been briefed on Kay's testimony. You mean the suspicious person in the coat that she saw? That's right. That person is one of the keys to solving this case. The person who pretended to be the Yatagarasu. Pretended? And what do you mean by that? I'll get to that in a second, but first I want to review what this person Kay saw did. Kay, if you could please explain what the person you were chasing did for us. Okay, you got it. I first spotted the suspicious person near the open-air stage on the Babylese side. I called out to the person, but as soon as I did, that person ran off. I thought I was rather suspicious, so I immediately gave chase. For the sake of argument, let's call the suspicious person the Yatagarasu. Now please tell us what happened when you chased the Yatagarasu up to the 3rd floor. Can do. I chased Yatagarasu all the way up to the 3rd floor in the Babbley's embassy. It was a pretty straight chase down the hallway until a sudden turn. The Yatagarasu disappeared around the corner, so I did my best to catch up. When I turned the corner, I saw the Yatagarasu run into Mr. Koken's office. I gave chase and ran into the room. But when I entered the room, it was pitch black. I couldn't see a thing. I felt something on the ground next to my foot, so I turned on the light, but then... Ah! Who's there? By the time I turned on the lights, the Yatagarasu had disappeared. When Kay entered the room, the person she was chasing was already gone. Why do you suppose that was, Agent Lang? What do you mean, why do you suppose? Isn't it obvious? The person slipped through the door behind the girl under the cover of darkness. Sorry, but I know for a fact that the person didn't escape through that door. Oh, and how do you know that with such certainty? That's easy. If the Yatagarasu had left through that door, they would have run right into this person, Sheena, because she was right outside. Where is she? There she is. Take that! Your answer is Sheena? Yes, because let's consider what would have happened if the Yatagarasu had used the door. When Kay screamed upon discovering Mr. Koken's body, the Yatagarasu would have run into Agent Sheena, who was in the next room over. Ugh. Agent Sheena, would you mind telling us if you saw the suspicious person in question? No, I didn't see anyone. You see, therefore, the Yatagarasu could not have escaped through the door. It just means that the creep slipped out before Sheena made it to the hallway. I doubt that. There was another person in the hallway. A certain detective. Detective Gumshoe, where were you exactly at that time? Me, sir? When I heard Kay scream, I ran towards Mr. Koken's office from the opposite direction of Agent Sheena, sir. So, Agent Lang, can you explain how someone could have eluded both of them? Even you must concede that under these circumstances, the door was not a viable route. Way to go, Mr. Edgeworth! You nailed them with just an explanation of what happened. Yes. I've eliminated one of the possible escape routes from that room. This is far from over. I need to make Agent Lang aware as well. I've yet another possible escape route the Yatagarasu could have taken. I get it. So that's what you're trying to show me. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, let me guess. This is what you're trying to say, right? Because the door was not a viable escape route, then there must have been another way out. Precisely. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, it's time to bust out with our revolving fireplace wall explanation, right? No, not quite yet. Huh? But why? I thought this would be the perfect time. The revolving wall on the Babbley side is known to only 4 people, and if we use this information unwisely, the truth may escape us in the end. What's with all the whispering over there? Scared I'll figure out your tactics? Nothing of the sort, Agent Lang. Come, let's continue where we left off. That smug, haughty attitude of yours. You really run me the wrong way, you know that? Well, no matter. I've figured you out already anyway. The only other possible escape route besides the door is the room's lone window. And since an eerie picture of said escape route exists, are you saying that this photo captures the moment of the Yatagarasu's escape? I guess Detective Bad must have filled him in on this photo. I have to admit that at first I thought the window to be a possible escape route as well. However, I now know that to be impossible. Now I realize you may not know this, but humans can't fly. Of course I know that. That's bloody common sense. Besides, I never thought that photo to be the Yatagarasu's escape route. I suppose not. Alright then, explain yourself. The shadow in this photo is not the Yatagarasu that Kay was chasing after. You can say whatever you like in whatever language you want. But there's only one language I really understand. The language of evidence. Very well then. I present to you proof that the person Kay saw is not the same one in this photo.
Take that!
Let me explain to you precisely why the shadow in this photo is not the Yatagarasu Kay saw. Kay spotted the Yatagarasu heading for the 3rd floor during the 2nd fire. However, the photo in question was taken just after the 1st fire. Yeah, way to go! That's twice you've bit him in the butt now. We're not done yet. You still have to explain what that shadow is, and how the Yatagarasu escaped. I don't suppose you can answer both, can you? Regarding the photo, I admit that we don't understand what it means quite yet. Ha! As I thought. However, the Yatagarasu's escape route, now that I can answer. can. Well then, Mr. Prosecutor, go on, enlighten me. Even if I explain it, you'll try to find some flaw with what I have to say. You were busy heading up the Alabastian embassy, correct? In that case, I doubt you'd have much knowledge about the Babylese side of the case. So wouldn't it be best if the lead on that side, Agent Sheena, explained in my stead? Sheena is my subordinate. I don't stick up for her. How can I look her in the eyes and call myself her boss?
Lang, it's alright. I can take care of him.
Sheena.
You shielded me a lot as my boss. But it's time for me to prove my worth.
Alright, if you're okay with it, then you have my support.
Finally, it's down to just Agent Sheena and myself.
This is where the battle begins.
Now then, what is it you'd like to ask?
Let's see. Why don't we start with your movements inside the Babylese embassy?
During the first Babylese fire, I assisted in putting out the fire. During the second fire, I was searching for the Atagadasu that appeared in Babel. While I was searching, I heard a scream coming from the next room over. Although I was in the next room, I was unable to catch a glimpse of the Yatagarasu. To be honest, I'm actually very skeptical that the girl's Yatagarasu even exists. And that is all I have to say. But I'm not lying when I said I saw the suspicious person run into Mr. Koken's office. Like I said earlier, I have no intention of retracting my testimony. Good.
Just to confirm, did you have a partner when you were on your investigation?
No, I moved alone.
In that case, you have no one to corroborate your alibi. Is that correct? Are you calling her suspicious because she was in a room by herself? How pathetic. And it wasn't when Agent Sheena tried to arrest Kay under the same rationale. And how about when you accused Larry because he was the weapon's owner?
Now that it's unexpected for that useless lump to get into such a situation. Though I suppose it's never a good idea to let mistakes go uncorrected.
We'll make no excuse for what I did in that situation.
And you should apologize right now for making Kay out to be the killer, pal.
I'm sorry. Sheena, apologize.
I'm sorry. It's really okay. I mean, I'm not under suspicion anymore. Right, Mr. Edgeworth?
Well, I never doubted you. Not for 1 second. And the same goes for me. I believe in Sheena. Then let's put that to the test and see if she really is worthy of your trust.
This promises to be interesting.
Rebuttal. Huh, okay. I really don't know. Oh, it was that easy. Okay. Being in the room next to Mr. Koken's office is the problem with your testimony. Oh. Mr. Prosecutor, I don't see what problem you're talking about at all. Agent Lang, do you recall the secret we discovered about the Alabastian office fireplace? Huh? Oh, you mean how it connects the office with the room next door? What about it? Well, Alabastus is the only country with secret connecting fireplaces. What? The fireplace in Mr. Koken's office holds the exact same secret. What? The Atagadasu didn't escape through the door to the room or the window. The escape route was through the revolving fireplace wall into the next room over. Now do you see? If the Atagadasu had escaped in the next room, then the thief would have run straight into Agent Sheena. Meaning that it's impossible for her to have missed the Atagadasu. What is the meaning of this, Miles? Well, would you care to explain, Agent Sheena, how you managed to completely miss the fleeing Yatagarasu, or shall I? Your claim that you were in the next room was a lie all along, wasn't it? The truth is, you were the one Kay saw in the coat. Pretending to be the Yatagarasu, and you were the one that she chased after. And you tried to lose her. As you tried to lose her, you ran into Mr. Koken's office and headed for the fireplace. Then you shed your coat in the next room, leaving it there to emerge as Agent Sheena. After that, you came back around to place Kay under arrest. Does that sound about right? If not, then speak now or forever hold your peace.
How dare you make Kay look like the bad guy when you're the suspicious one, pal?
Sheena? No, I'm not doing all this last. Okay, so it was this point that you're supposed to figure it out. So that's the exact same animation as Miss You over there, which is the spoiler I knew, because that's great. I was looking up name puns, and it was like Callisto U / Sheena, and I was like, oh, that laugh. I remember this irritating laugh. I'm getting chills down my spine. Can't be. But it has to be. Sheena, what's wrong with you?
I'm sorry. It was so funny that I couldn't help but laugh.
Funny, you say?
Yes, that you would accuse me of being the Yatagarasu. The prosecutors of this country really are also very strange. You think you can get away with this by simply laughing it off? You think I'm taking things too lightly? I think not, because that prosecutor is. Look, everything you said earlier is nothing more than mere speculation. The Yatagarasu fled through the fireplace. Do you have any proof to back up your claim? If you don't, then you haven't proven a thing regarding the Yatagarasu's escape route. The tone of voice you're taking with me now has certainly changed. Well, that's because it's been a while since I've had this much fun. I think I'll let loose, and then we can have a real battle of wits. For an agent of Interpol to show me the true power of mind, it is a great honor. Don't underestimate me. I'm not some foolish broad, you know? I know, and that is why I won't hold anything back either as I answer your question. My question? Here is your proof that the revolving fireplace in Babel was used recently.
Take that!
There we go.
I'm sorry, but is this really your honest answer to my question?
Yes, according to Ambassador Polino's testimony, he said that he was burning some documents in the fireplace with Mr. Koken.
Oh.
The ashes of what they burned were left in the fireplace, so they should have been there. However, when we went to investigate the room, the ashes weren't there.
Why is that a problem? Maybe someone cleaned them up.
Unfortunately for you, Ambassador Polino said that he forgot to, and so the question remains, why were the ashes missing? The answer is simple. When the Yatagarasu went through the fireplace wall, the ashes were pushed to the next room by the wall as well. The movement of the ashes that were in Mr. Koken's office is my proof. Okay, I'm done laughing. And just what is so funny?
Ash is proof? Are you even allowed to submit such flaky evidence in court? Do you still wish to fight us? Of course, why wouldn't I?
In that case, let's hear your counter-argument.
My counter-argument, huh? This really is just like being in court.
Well, to me, it was simply continuing from where we left off all those years ago.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, it doesn't matter if we're at a crime scene or in court. Let's finish this here and now.
I suppose. I had a lot of fun today, but I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all.
Sheena's rebuttal.
In my eyes, all you've proven is that the rotating fireplace wall was used. But you can't really call that proof that the Yatagarasu used the fireplace, now can you? So then who was it that used the rotating wall? Show me your answer with real evidence. Remember, we've already finished our very thorough investigation, and we found not a single suspicious thing in Mr. Koken's office. And there you have it, my counter-argument.
That's very impressive. She has seen through to the fact that I have yet to gather that one piece of evidence.
What is it, Kay? I haven't heard a peep out of you in quite a while now. If you don't think you can handle it, feel free to leave the rest of it to us. But
Kay, pull yourself together. You are the true heir to the Yatagarasu name, are you not? If you want to steal the truth, then you must never take your eyes off of it. The chase you're running to catch the truth. You must see it through to the very end.
Mr. Edgeworth, you're right. I will see this through to the end. So, you go get her for me, Mr. Edgeworth.
With pleasure.
Looks like a lack of evidence has left you wide open, doesn't it?
Sheena, please, show me you're someone I can trust.
Don't worry, this will be the deciding match. You'll see.
I'm truly sorry, Agent Lang, but I simply can't allow her to escape me again. Very well then, Agent Sheena. Shall we begin?
I'm ready whenever you are.
Or should I say, Callisto you? I don't know. Okay. Ah, you are a fool. Huh. Please say that you and your agents have finished your thorough investigation. Are you absolutely certain that you didn't overlook anything?
Well, aren't we full of ourselves standing there insulting Interpol agents?
You better not be insinuating that my men are incompetent, Mr. Prosecutor. I never do that, however, it doesn't change the fact that they did overlook something. I'd like for you to take a look at this length of wire.
So what exactly is this supposed to mean?
Length of wire. So what about it? I'll tell you what, we found this in the Babylonis embassy not long ago. What? And we found it wound up inside the grandfather clock in Mr. Koken's office.
You found that at the scene of Mr. Koken's murder?
This wire wasn't all we found. We found one other very important thing. There's more? In Mr. Koken's office, there were signs that someone had burned counterfeit bills there.
What in the...
Ugh! Hold it!
That evidence was something you found out through that girl's machine, right? So what if it was? That's what I thought. But unfortunately for you, a recreation made by a machine is hardly concrete proof. Among the ashes you found in the room, did you happen to find any counterfeit bills?
No.
You see, so there was nothing in that office, nothing you can call evidence anyway.
I'm sorry, but I seem to have given you the wrong impression. How so? I don't recall saying that I was presenting evidence of any sort, but rather I was pointing out that your investigation was incomplete, and that this throws doubt on the purity of your investigation into the Atakarasu.
You still suspect me, I see. Alright then, I ask that you point out what part of my investigation is incomplete.
The other Interpol agents worked under the command of Agent Sheena. It is not possible that the reason the person K was chasing chose the 3rd floor was because that person knew there would be no other agents on that floor. Furthermore, we couldn't see that Agent Sheena was only pretending to be investigating the Atakarasu to the point of arresting K. In that case, there is one location that no one is yet to inspect. Your team's investigation was incomplete because they failed to inspect this location. The other room, I think. Yep. The location, Agent Sheena, is, of course, the room you have claimed to have examined. I believe the room next to Mr. Koken's office warrants a thorough inspection.
Even if you do that, I doubt you'll find anything of use to you there.
I will be the one to decide that. Detective Gumshoe.
Yes, sir. I'm on it. I'll be right back after I check out the room next to the office.
Just so you know, if we find a coat, you're screwed.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, do you really think that Miss Sheena is the Atakarasu?
Yes, my logic is sound, I believe she is.
Now, I'm not gonna let her get away with ruining the name of the Atakarasu. Can you prove that she's the Atakarasu in question?
If Detective Gumshoe can find what I'm hoping he will, then I should be able to.
Just what are you hoping he'll find?
Let's just say this. Hi, Detective Gumshoe did a little experiment for me earlier.
An experiment? As if that detective has a brain for high science.
It wasn't that mentally taxing. I had him use the same escape route as the Atakarasu.
What did you find out by doing that?
First, that it's possible for a person to fit through the revolving wall door. Second, that by going through there, his coat was covered in ash and Babylonis ink. Who cares what his coat was covered in? It's not worth that much anyways. But is it really worth so little? I believe that it's actually quite a meaningful result, the value of which I'm about to prove.
Mr. Edgeworth, I found some things you really need to see, sir.
Oh, so what are these things that you found?
Some makeup, a coat, and a pair of shoes, sir. You found a coat? You hear that, Mr. Edgeworth? He's the one the person I was chasing was wearing.
Yes, the possibility does exist. Agent Sheena, were these pieces of evidence not in that room when you examined it?
Unfortunately for you, those aren't suspicious items of any sort. They all belong to me. They were getting in the way, so I stored them in that room. Aww. Thank you for bringing them to me. It saves me a trip. May I have them back now?
These items that the detective brought back are incredibly significant. I request I be allowed to examine them.
They're my personal belongings, so you have no right to touch them without my permission.
I wish to examine them for the sake of the investigation, but if you wish to deny us access to them, Agent Lang, let's hear your opinion on this. I say let them look at your stuff, Sheena.
Lang?
Sheena, let's put it all out in the open. If you're really innocent, then you have nothing to worry about, right?
I guess so. Alright, go ahead and examine what you'd like. After all, I have nothing to hide.
Good. Now let us begin.
So which of Aunt Sheena's belongings are you going to examine, sir?
The coat. Let's examine the coat.
Yes, sir.
It appears that you managed to stain your coat rather badly, Agent Sheena. You have to get out to the case saw was wearing a coat, and I'm beginning to wonder if this stain wasn't created when you went through the fireplace.
No, you haven't wrong. That suit probably got on my coat when I was helping the police put out the fire.
What about this dark substance around the hem of your coat?
Oh, I didn't realize that the hem was dirty. I'm sure it's just some water mixed with soot from fire when I was helping with water when I did it. I don't think so. You can get away with such a transparent lie. Yeah, don't lie to us, pal. This is the same pattern of dirt that got on my coat when I went through the fireplace. Your words ring hollow in the absence of evidence, you know? So unless you can prove that the dirt on my coat is from the fireplace,
which I can.
What? How?
You did a great job, Detective Gumshoe.
Huh? Me, sir? What did I do?
This coat is exactly the piece of evidence I was searching for. I've been hoping to find the coat that the person Case saw was wearing. And thanks to you, we provided that going through the fireplace would sully a coat.
I don't quite get what you're saying, but I'm happy for the praise, sir.
All that remains is for us to show what the dark substance on the coat hem is.
Oh, and you think you can do that?
Of course I can. This is the dark substance. Oh, excuse me. This is the dark substance that sullied the hem of the coat. Where's my Babyliss ink?
Take that!
Babyliss ink?
Yes, this is what will prove the court went through that fireplace. The coat, not court. According to Ambassador Polino, he burned some files in the fireplace this morning.
He told us about that already, so I don't really see the point in mentioning it again. My point is that he spilled some ink onto the back wall in the fireplace at that time.
If the dark substance on this coat turns out to be Babyliss ink, it would prove that you and this coat went through the revolving fireplace. Sorry to have clipped one of your wings, Yatagarasu, but we're not finished yet.
But you have no way of proving whether or not this is Babyliss ink on the coat hem.
Oh, but I do. I intend to show that it is ink in a few seconds.
How?
How, you ask? Well, since you don't seem to know, allow me to show you. This is how I'll prove the dark substance on the coat is Babyliss ink. Touch the coat, wear the coat, burn the coat. We can find out whether that is Babyliss ink or not by lighting it on fire. That's how you're gonna prove it's Babyliss ink? Yes. If you could please cut a section of the dark stained area for me, I'd appreciate it, because I will show you here and now what the dark substance is. Sheena, sorry to do this, but I'm gonna have to cut off a bit of your coat.
Go ahead, I wasn't planning to wear it anymore anyway.
Now then, if someone can loan me a lighter or something.
Oh, I've got some matches. I always carry them with me so I can light smoke bombs.
And if I can please have one, Kay, we can get this experiment underway. Yep.
The flame!
It's the same color as the flames wit crystal oil produces, which means Babyliss ink is a product of wit crystal oil, and when lit, the ink produces a green flame. I believe the time has come to clip the Yatagarasu's other wing.
Miss Sheena, you're the fake Yatagarasu, the one who killed my father.
It's about time you came clean, Agent Sheena, or should I say, Callisto you. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, you're not serious, are you? Do I look like the joking type to you?
Poof, Callisto you? I've never heard that name in my life. That manner of speaking and that attitude, you haven't changed a bit in 7 years. You're the defense attorney that killed Mr. Faraday and then tried to frame me for it. Oh, really? And you have proof? You insist that I'm this Callisto you woman, but can you prove it? If you have no proof, then I'm afraid you won't be able to lay a single finger on me.
The raven is a very unique bird, one that flies by the darkness of the night. However, the light of dawn has arrived, and it will reveal your true ugly form to the world.
Enough poetry. I want to see some evidence. Do you really have something that can prove that she is Callisto you?
I do. It's something that the second Yatagarasu has preserved for these last 7 years.
Do me honor, Mr. Edgeworth.
I will, Kay. We have finally come to the end. We'll prove her to be Callisto you with this, and clip the Yatagarasu's wings. For good. Yeet! This perfume. This will prove you to be Callisto you.
It will?
Kay has preserved it perfectly for us. Surely you remember this bottle. This belonged to Miss Yu just before she disappeared 7 years ago. Naturally, this means that a few of her fingerprints are on her as well.
This is that bottle of perfume you spilled, which I have preserved ever since. I heard from my father, Byron Faraday, and if stored under the right conditions, a fingerprint can be preserved for decades, which means that your fingerprints are still on here, every last one. We can clear everything up if we were to compare the prints of this to your own. Now come, Agent Sheena, will you submit yourself to a fingerprint test? Wow, she went insane. I can't do a crazy laugh right now. I'm sorry, I'm sick. Don't you dare. Okay.
It looks like you've seen right through me yet again. You're sending the biggest chill down my spine, Edgeworth.
Callisto, you.
So you've shown your true face at last. This feeling of thrill, it's even greater than that time 7 years ago.
Sheena, you're...
Lang, I really enjoyed our days together. You're an insanely strong, nice, kind-hearted idiot of a man.
So you were a spy all along. A mole sent by the smuggling ring I've been chasing after. Someone who has been feeding them intel on Interpol all this time.
Ha! Very good. Maybe not as big of an idiot as I thought. Callisto, you, the woman who killed my father 7 years ago. You're her, aren't you? The fake Yatagarasu. That's right, Callisto, you. That's just one of my many names. But even that is just a facade. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the great thief Yatagarasu.
Don't you dare. Okay, I was about to say, if you... Yeah. Callisto, you, this time you won't escape, for this is the end of the road for you. Now come along quietly.
You know, you're the one who left the strongest impression on me, Kay Faraday. And did not use the Yatagarasu's gadgets, I might have never known who you were. But here you are, being a thorn to my side, just like your father always was.
Kay, don't.
I'll never forgive you for what you did to my father. You really are just like him. Mr. Faraday too possessed such a laughable honesty.
Oh, god dang it. Kay!
Ah! You let Kay go right now, pal. You despicable. Let go of me, you filthy... Yeah. You think I'm a fake, don't you? Well, unfortunately for you, I'm the real Yatagarasu. And that's impossible. My father was an uncreated little thief. Hey, Edgeworth. The Yatagarasu has 3 legs. Do you know why that is?
Why it has 3 legs? Are we about to prove it? There were 3 Yatagarasus? I'm betting right now. There are 3 main reasons why the Yatagarasu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagarasu will always know the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. No, it can't be.
If you finally figure it out, do you finally know the real identity of the Yatagarasu?
The real identity of the Yatagarasu is... neither. The real identity of the Yatagarasu is neither Byron Faraday nor Callisto Yu, but by the same token, they're also both the real Yatagarasu.
How very perceptive of you. No way.
The single person known as the Great Thief Yatagarasu never existed.
Mr. Edgeworth, no, I refuse to believe this.
The Yatagarasu is known to have 3 special skills. Skill number 1, the Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. And the lawyer would have the opportunity to learn the layout of the client corporations, not cooperations. Skill number 2, the Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. And a good prosecutor would be very well versed in the ways of a criminal.
And skill number 3.
Oh wait, in skill number 3, the Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind. Ever. Yup! Knew it! Ha! Detective Bad! It was only natural for the Yatagarasu to never leave evidence behind, because the lead detective on the case hid it all away. You're the 3rd member of the Yatagarasu? You. I've been looking for you for a long time. 7 long years, but I finally got you.
But Mr. Bad, a long time no see. What happened to us? We used to be such a great team. You were such a great team, then why did you kill my father 7 years ago? Why, indeed. It was nothing personal, really. He was just another person I had to kill. How can you say that? I grow weary of this, and it's about time for everything to come to an end. And this time, I won't miss.
Stop! You! Kay! It's over, Sheena. No!
Your leg!
Agent Lang! You idiot. What were you thinking, jumping in the front of my gun like that? What are you risking your life for? I'm sorry, Detective Bad, but no matter what sort of past she may have had, or even if she is a spy, it doesn't change the fact that she is my subordinate. As long as she is, I can't allow any harm to come to her, not even from you.
You really are an idiot, you know that?
That's fine with me. You should know by now that this is just how I am. Hey, sis!
Yes. Yes, I don't know why. Sorry, I had a frog in my throat there.
I want you to conduct a full body search. Sheena might have another weapon on her.
Alright. Detective Gumshoe, your assistance, please.
Sir!
Hey, I found something. What is this, sir? It looks like the blade of a knife, but it doesn't have a handle.
This is a great find, Detective.
Huh? It is, sir?
Let's try pairing this blade up with this handle. I'm not gonna save this. Come on. I believe this blade actually belongs with the handle that was on the murder weapon.
Hey, they fit together perfectly.
This blade must have been taken from the crime scene when the knife handles was switched.
I'm gonna go return this Babbly's knife now.
Alright, I trust that you'll make sure that it is returned to Ambassador Polino. Babbly's knife handle given to Detective Gumshoe. I believe this makes it perfectly clear who did it. Callisto, you. For the only time the handles could have been switched to just after Mr. Koken's murder.
Haha.
Which means that you must be Mr. Koken's killer. You killed Mr. Koken with the Alabastian knife. Switched the handles and then took the original blade of the Babbly's knife with you. Later, you allowed yourself to be spotted by Kay near the open stage. You used the fireplace to lose her, and then you went back to accuse her of the murder. Does that about sum it up?
Haha.
Oh, that was Callisto's thing there. That's good.
You crafted an engaging tale, Edgeworth, but there are two problems with it.
Problems? In what respect?
Why do you think my real reason was in allowing her to chase after me? It was all so I could capture Kay Faraday. What? When I saw you using that device at Gatewaterland, I knew right away that you were buying Faraday's daughter. Ha! I became curious, so I researched a little into your background. That's how I found out that you were on the trail of the Yatagarasu. That's why you tried to pin Mr. Koken's murder on me? Yes, I knew you would show up at this embassy tonight. So I thought to use you, but pinning the murder on you was my only goal. You had another? Yes. Once I had you under arrest, I had planned to search you and take back the device that rightfully belongs to me, the true Yatagarasu. You're going to take a little thief away from me? 7 years ago, it was thanks to the device that Faraday was able to infiltrate this place. But he's still more than he should have. I had a tough time recovering that precious key.
And the person who stole the Yatagarasu's key was Mr. Faraday. You. That incident 7 years ago. What was the catalyst behind it?
In the eyes of the smuggling ring, the Yatagarasu is becoming a bit of a problem. That wasn't an especially pleasant assignment.
Then why? Why did you become a member of the Yatagarasu?
Why? There is no why. I was destined to betray everyone from the very beginning.
From the beginning? What is that supposed to mean?
The person I take orders from hasn't changed, even now to this day.
Does this mean that the leader of the smuggling ring wasn't Mr. Koken? Then the real ringleader is still out there pulling the strings. Are you done asking what you need to know? Because if so, we should probably get going. And you're going to tell me everything you did tonight. Do you understand, Sheena?
I guess I should tell you then that I was the one who set the Babbly's embassy on fire.
And why did you do that?
I suppose it was to destroy all evidence of the counterfeit bills.
That was what the smuggling ring was trying to do. But then why start 2 fires?
Sorry, but I can't tell you anything about the ring. It's your job to complete your investigation after all. I've had my fun. Now it's your turn to enjoy the ride. Wait, I mean Miss Sheena. Yes. When I fell to the floor earlier, these fell at my feet. What about them? They're such pretty hair sticks, and I thought that, well, I should return them to you. You can have them. They're of no use to me anymore. If you don't want them, you can always just throw them away. No, I want to keep them. Suit yourself. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot, Edgeworth. About the second problem I had with your story. I didn't kill anyone tonight.
What?
I'm not saying that as a sore loser. I give it as a hint, if you will.
Mr. Prosecutor. Yes, Agent Lang? Mark my words, I'm not done here, and I'll be back. And it's got nothing to do with duty or anything, because this has become my personal case. I may have been shot, but I'll show you just how dangerous a wounded wolf can be. His anger appears to have negated the sensation of pain in his injured leg. So she... God dang it, my one theory is wrong. So it wasn't her. Then it has to be Polino who killed him. Unless it was bad. Oh, crap. It actually might be bad. Who is this? Oh. It's finally over, Kay.
I feel like I peered into her heart a little, you know? It's so cold and dark and incredibly lonely. The person who was giving her all these commands. The one who thought my father was a problem to be removed.
That person is the real ringleader behind the smuggling ring.
Mr. Edgeworth, I have a favor to ask. Can you hold on to these hair sticks for me? They're really pretty, just like the ones they were selling for the Jammin' Ninja show. But until this case is over, I don't think I can look at them without being overcome.
I understand. I'll take good care of them for you. There's a bit of soil stuck on the ends of these. Oh, those were from the flowers? What? Oh, that's weird.
Oh, guess it's that time already, huh? So it's midnight, the dawn of another day. Hey, Pops, thanks a bunch. You've really done a lot for everyone all these years.
Detective Bad, don't tell me today is the day. Yeah, it is. With this, I can retire in peace. It was down to the wire, as we almost didn't make it. We did it. We solved everything. That's just it. We haven't solved everything yet. The ringleader of the smuggling ring, you, the Yatagarasu, were chasing after. The legend of Yatagarasu is now over. Mr. Edgeworth, that bit of logic earlier, it was brilliant. I feel like I can leave it all in your hands. I'm counting on you.
Is it really true, Uncle Bad? Were you also a part of the Yatagarasu?
As I said to you earlier, Kay, I'm truly sorry. I wanted nothing but a peaceful life for you.
Uncle Bad? Hey, don't take it so seriously. It's all just one big joke, right? Fortunately, it isn't. Oh, come on, sir. She's just yanking on my chain, isn't she, Mr. Edgeworth?
Detective Bad. Wait, no. You are no longer a detective. Mr. Bad, I'd like to ask you about the Yatagarasu.
Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth.
Mr. Edgeworth, here. I should give these back to you. These are the pages from my KG8 case files that the Yatagarasu stole from my office.
Huh? Wait, what?
Mr. Edgeworth, I must apologize for last night. So the Yatagarasu who stole into my room was you, was it?
Wait, and that means what? Tell me it's not true. That's too insane for me to believe, sir.
It's true, even if it's not something you want to hear. The KG8 incident is a very emotionally trying case. We're still in that courtroom. Faraday is the prosecutor, and I is the lead detective. Faraday had evidence in his possession that proved the defendant guilty. However, because it was stolen, the defendant was found innocent. You was the elder sister of the victim in the case. When the defendant was pronounced not guilty, she let out a great wail. That's when we realized that there was a limit to what the law could do. The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do so outside of the courts. That's what we thought at the time. That's how we formed the Yatagarasu and vowed to bring to light any dirty dealings companies had with the ring, including companies that dealt with the Amano Group. Mr. Amano's conglomerate. We called ourselves the Yatagarasu and flexed our collective muscle. We exposed all sorts of shady dealings as a warning to the business world and as a whole. By doing that, we were able to stop the higher-ups from covering things up. And then, it was finally time. We'd finally arrived at the moment when we find out the ringleader's true identity. It was then that you literally stabbed us in the heart. And Faraday, he died for it.
But why? Wasn't she the sister of the victim in the KG8 incident?
After Faraday's death, I looked into her past. And that's when I found out that she was a phony. The victim in the KG8 incident, CCU. She never had a sister.
What? Then that means...
Sheena wasn't the only fake name she used. Callisto U was another pseudonym. In the very beginning, that woman was a spy sent by the smuggling ring.
She said it herself. I was destined to betray everyone from the very beginning.
Anyway, let's return to the real topic at hand. Mr. Edgeworth, this trump card that we stuck onto this page of the case file. Please use it wisely.
Trump card?
That photo that we stuck on there, try peeling it off. Behind it slumbers a piece of evidence that Faraday hid away all those years ago.
It's the mark of the Yatagarasu. But why?
This is a directives card from the big boss. Take a look at the back. This was something Koken had on him at the time of the KG8 incident 10 years ago. That blood is from the victim of the incident, Miss CCU.
Why is the card adorned with the mark of the Yatagarasu?
The reason why we called ourselves the Yatagarasu was because of the three-legged raven mark that the smuggling rings his bosses used. Apparently, orders from the boss would come on these cards without fail. The person who received the order was supposed to burn it immediately after reading it. And apparently, it burns a bright green flame when it's set ablaze.
Seeming the cards were written in Babbly's ink.
The fact that the card that Koken was sent made it into Faraday's hand at all is nothing short of a miracle. We decided that whenever we stole anything, we would send a card along with it to the police.
So that's what those white cards are.
The great thief that used the card. I can't read today. The mark. That only those within the ring would know. It was our message to the ringleader that we were only a few steps behind. And one more thing, Detective Gumshoe. I'm entrusting this to you.
Oh, I thought he was giving him the lollipop.
What is this, sir? This is what I was talking about earlier. During the KG8 incident trial, Faraday had this in his possession. This important, definitive piece of evidence.
But I thought it was stolen. How do you have it?
The person who stole it from us 10 years ago was a man by the name of Ernest Amano. He had it locked and hidden away for all this time. We forced him to tell us where it was, finally, after the other day's kidnapping case.
Wow, this game is like the ultimate, it was all connected. Like, holy crap, every single case in this game mattered to this one case. This video. Don't come any closer. I'm warning you. This is the same video as the one Mr. Portsmouth was trying to conceal from me.
Yeah, it seemed that even he was caught up in the ring's web. Amano was preparing to take on the boss someday, and the video was his insurance. That's where that prosecutor comes in. He was to retrieve the video. On top of that, he was apparently instructed to sneak into your office and steal the trump card. Which is why you stole it first? You saw it for yourself, right? The card that told him to preserve the evidence?
The card was not the calling card of the Yatagarasu, but rather a directives card from the ringleader to Mr. Portsmouth.
The two pieces together make for a strong weapon for whoever holds them.
The evidence Mr. Portsmouth thought to withhold from me, and the one that you stole from my office last night. Both pieces are illegal, and for me to use either one is.
Whether you use them or not is up to you. But they will be of help to you when you take on someone who's above the law.
Is the boss one of those who cannot be brought to court that Mr. Faraday spoke of?
Detective Bad, there is no limit to the law, for it is the people who determine the limits to them. You still insist that, even now, you really are something else. I leave the rest in your hands. Now then, Detective Gumshoe, the handcuffs. It's time to lock up the last remaining member of the Yatagarasu.
Pops.
Don't ever lose your detective spirit.
Pops, why is this happening? This isn't justice.
Like I always told you, do not get emotionally involved. Now let's go.
Yes, sir.
Is this really the end of a legend? Holy crap, man. That was just bombshell after bombshell. Like, I knew the Sheena twist, but I didn't know the Sheena twist. Wow, okay. That went way more deep than I didn't think for a second it was going to be bad until the last second. That was pretty crazy. But I'm going to wrap up today's episode here for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Stick around to see more of this awesome game. We'll be playing it till the end, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace out!